Okay. Namaste, everybody. Let's get the chat going. And if you guys can tell me if you can hear me okay. Carol Rhodes, there's something coming in the mail for you, sweetheart. Thank you so very, very much. And I want to let you know how timely your contribution was. So many thank you, sisters. Thank you so much. There's a little something in the mail, so be on the lookout for it. Okay. And the chat. And if you could let me know if you can hear me okay. I know, Vonda, you're pretty good at it. Like, yes. Can you hear me? Everything is sounding all right? Great. So, some of us has been going through the journey. We've been going through this whole technical, let me see, technical what? Adventure? That's a good word. There's other words I could use, but I'll choose to say technical adventure. And so we were coming into a nice little, lull of a system that I'm sure will change at some point. That will happen. So, but it's running more smoothly than it was before. So that is awesome. Oh, you know what? I need my phone. You guys, it's right if you pass my pocket.
Oh, in the side pocket?
Yeah, yeah. So we haven't had an opportunity how to sync up the music yet between online and everybody hearing it. So actually what happens, which I don't think you guys can tell, we have two different musics going on. So we have the music that's being piped through for you. Okay. And for the people who are physically here at the center, they are listening to some other beautiful music that I play all the time. And it all works. It all works, right? It's all the interconnections of everything that brings to the higher expression. So, how's everybody going through with the energies? Now, we spoke about this time and coming up to November, and just put on your seatbelts. And, we have a real important call as light workers. And we were told this in the midst of the chaos, in the midst of the extreme. And some of the extremes, the energy that comes from it. If you take too long and look at a statement or meme or whatever it is with the intention behind it is not one of peace or love or even tolerance, but you could tell the extremist by reading something and how it makes you feel. We have to know. I just had an experience myself, right? You have to know that if someone is coming to you, okay, it doesn't have to be to you like Mary, John, Joseph. You just come across something, and that's what's happening now, especially on social media and every place else. Everybody has an opinion, everybody say, and of course, politics is to be decisive. That's why we don't participate on this level because of the drama. And why? Yeah, that's going to pull your attention away from the higher levels, understanding what's going on a broader sense. And as I said, at least for myself, I'm not going to participate. Mother Mary said don't. So I'm listening to what she said. I'm not getting into an argument because most people are set in what they believe anyway. So what it is just setting up for more battles. Okay, why would you want to contribute to battles? Because the bottom line is just like if you look at these corporations, you say, oh, Macy's is competing with Saks Fifth Avenue, for example. But then when you go all the way up the corporate ladder and you see who really owns and who's in control, it's one entity controlling them both. But the perception is that they're two different organizations and they're competing with each other. But at the end of the day, Who's benefiting? The one person or the one entity that has them both. It's just that we don't know that. We don't know that. But there are those that do know it, and they're not trying to stop it. They're not trying to do that because it benefits a particular group for humanity to stay in chaos. But there's many of us that are waking up, and I know I'm seeing a whole new level of people that are waking up, and I know you're like shocked. I know I've gone through that. We all have gone through that. Like, wait a minute. You mean there really is an agenda to try to keep people like suppressed and oppressed? And wait a minute. I thought people wanted peace, and we all want world peace. Not everybody, not humans. I think the higher part of humans in their heart want peace. The higher part of humans are good and caring and loving, and they have inspiration. And you just look at these human type stories of other humans helping other humans in times of crisis. Humanity has that element of the divine light in them. They do. And when things come, push against shove, it doesn't matter what political affiliation you are, what race you are, what culture you are, what gender you are. None of that. If everybody's in an intense situation, a life-threatening situation, doesn't humanity bond together and help each other out? Unfortunately, do we have to come to that level of crises for humanity to act that way? I don't know. It's like a big, that little, like the little angel in the cartoons, the little angel over here and the little devil over here, and it's who you pay attention to. But I just want to say this for all of us. We have a real important job. We are here for a reason. We are awakened for a reason. We are the odd one out for a reason. We are the black sheep for a reason. We are the crazy one who can understand him or her for a reason. They're strange for a reason because, yeah, we're in the world, but we're not of it. And we remember that we're not of it. As Jesus Christ said, in the world, but not of it. And that's part of your journey to awakening to the higher understanding of things. Now, the good news is I know just as crazy as things are, and there are, you know, you just you don't even have to look at the news, which I say watch very, very little of that. Okay, just kind of keep yourself informed, but don't get too sucked in. But also, too, just in the general day to day at work and dealing and the anger and the rage that's out there. I mean, what's with the road rage? The road that I never knew that as a thing. It's a thing. Road rage is now a thing. And then you have to think about that. Okay, sure, you've had anger and people and squabbles, and you've had that throughout time, but to this level of rage where if you stepped on somebody's foot by an accident, they now want to take a gun and kill you. So, Mother Mary, that's why we have important work to do, light workers. We really, really do. And that is, we cannot engage in these vibrations of duality that's going to push us back and forth in conflict and all of that. Okay, everybody has a job. You have your activists, you have your debaters, you have all those different people out there that are doing their thing. Our thing, as Mother Mary had requested in 2010, she said, I need somebody to hold the polarities in balance. It's written down. I've said it all the time, and I really do honor that. And I just saw a friend the other day, and right away he wanted to default into talking, and I said, I don't discuss that. I just cut it off right there. I said, everybody, has the opportunity to vote the way they feel. End of story. Talk about something else. Okay, so that's fine. Everybody has a right to do that, but things are geared up in such a way, okay, and it's intensified and has been working this way in Mother Mary called extreme polarities. Extreme polarities. So we're talking about being, and this is where the potential, okay, well, this is where wars take place, obviously, but also too, when it's super extreme to get other energies involved, is how they want to get a global world war. And we're not going to make that happen. When we do the anchoring light, okay, and we've been doing this, and it looks like we will have to continue to do it and continue to be very focused on what it is we do, is to hold that polarity in balance. That's our job. We're here to bring in the higher light frequency to hold both sides of that polarity. It's a triangle to keep it stable and not like this. So you say, gee, what can I do? We can do a lot if you remember who you are, the power that you hold, the power of your thoughts, the power of your actions. And then you become very discerning. What thoughts are running through your mind? Are they yours? Are you in your full sovereignty? Question that. Are you in your full sovereignty? So you're in your full sovereignty, then you start to act independently, aligning with your higher self, aligning with your soul, aligning with your sense of purpose and what you've come here to do. That's what you put the energy on. That is what we want to bring in, and how we can bring in the Christed timeline. Right now, we have so many timelines going on at the same time. So many. It could go to the right, to the left, center. It could go so many different ways, okay? And so now, well, there's going to be those consciousnesses moving in one direction. But what we want to do is we want to hold the Christic timeline, which is the awakening of all humanity and the ascension of the planet, so we could get out of this muck that's been going on for a very, 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 very long time. So you say, gee, I wonder how important my job is. I think this is pretty important. It's not only is it global, it's cosmic. It's cosmic, you know, and you don't need to have millions of people. You just need to have a handful of dedicated light workers who can hold a strong light quotient, who have the capacity to hold unconditional love, which is not an easy thing to do, by the way. Because, oh, I can hold unconditional love. Really? That takes practice, a lot of practice to hold that energy. But it's a powerful energy. It's a very powerful energy. And it's an alchemy that can do many different things. So what we want to do is, because it's going to get more intense. It's intense now. It's not even there yet. There's certain things that we may not be able to change completely, but we can at least mitigate it. We can shift by little nano movements when you're consistent. Well, you know, we're here today because of the prayers of millions of people for generations who've been praying for world peace. Our grandparents were praying, our great-grandparents were praying, you know, so many have been saying, wow, you know, I wish things could be better. I wish there could be world peace. I wish this thing hurts my heart that I'm seeing. You know, it hurts your heart, and it should. That's why we have to limit ourselves a little bit, because we cannot become a cold-hearted person. We need to have the feeling, but also protective of our hearts at the same time, that it doesn't get, you know, damaged. So it's a balancing act, but we're up to it, because Jesus said, as I can do, you can do. And every time I get, you know, vilified or something's not true or whatever it is, you know what I do? I think of Jesus, and look what they said to him. He said he was all kind of things. Right? He said, this guy's crazy. The Pharisee, who do you think you are? Jesus, the God loves you. You think you're his son? He's like, yeah, all of us are. So, you know, he's a prime example. So if you run into any stuff like that, just think of Jesus, just default to Jesus, and just remember what he went to. But guess what he did? He resurrected. He resurrected. And an example for us all. Okay, we're going to get started now. And I just put some sage on, and we were talking about a meme I saw of a lady that was a huge torch and it was sage, and she was saging the whole neighborhood. It was so funny, but let's sage the world. Okay. Let's sage the world. All right. So before I get started, I just want to share some things with you real quick about our events. You know, we had a big event. Ken Lloyd was here. That was a great event, and a lot of great things came out of that. And I want to remind everybody that this coming Sunday is the fall equinox. And what we're going to do, we're just going to have Reverend Robin has her Sunday service this coming Sunday, and we're just going to combine her service with the equinox ceremony. Okay, so it's going to be this Sunday at 10:30. Okay, you know, light workers show up. You know the work we got to do. We have to harness the equinox energies and put that for what we want to see, which is world peace. Okay, not a global war. Okay, tolerance and understanding and cooperation. Okay, and I'm going to tell you something. We have been avoiding that timeline for so long. We would have been a World War III already. The light workers have been stopping it. People of good heart have been stopping it. There are a group of monks someplace in an island, Athos, Athos, by Greece. They're up in a mountain and they pray constantly, 24/7, like the Tibetans. And one of the Athos monks said, we're in a well, what is he said? What is it like? Remember back in the Roman time, they did the gladiator. There's a thing I forget exactly what he said, but basically what he was saying, there is a war. It's a spiritual war. And so that's their job. That's what they do. That's all they do over there. So, we're not the only ones. There are others around the planet that are awake and realize working on a spiritual level, not falling into the trappings of the 3D world and keeping things aligned. So this coming Sunday, we have always from the beginning have harnessed the energies of the solstices and the equinoxes because these are special energies that can be used more potently to the intention we set forth, which of course is going to be peace, including it aligns ourselves personally with our own needs as well. So that's coming up this Sunday. Please do your very best to be there. Sunday at 10:30, we will be having our fall equinox event. I also want to mention what's coming up over here. We did have Reverend Ildigo with her class, and that is the Guardian of the Light, which is, of course, that started very successful. That is closed now. Okay, but she'll be redoing it again, but that class has started. And also, too, we do have this coming Wednesday, Reverend Nancy has her spirit messages, so that is very popular. She's a very great medium, so that's wonderful. And then also, I just want to bring to your attention on the 27th, which is a Friday, we are going to have the Manifesting Abundance. We've been doing that for a year, Reverend Nancy and myself. And of course, we have our Sunday services and we have our anchoring lights every Monday. Okay. And what? Yes, I know. Yeah, but it's a closed class. Your class started. Okay. Yeah, I know. Okay, but for the ones who are on your class, that's right. Okay, the ones who are taking the class, if you're taking the class with Reverend Ildigo, then the 27th is going to be also for that event as well. Okay. Alrighty, so let's get started. Everybody take a deep breath. What is sage? Okay, Debbie, sage is an herb. The Native Americans have used a lot of sage. There's white sage, there's different kinds of sage, but the sage has an energy or frequency that's clearing and cleansing. So what they have used is like if you walk in a space and there's like, I don't know, the energy doesn't feel good, the vibe is low, or there's somebody had an argument and it's like resonating in a space, you could take sage and you can usually it comes in a bundle and you light it and you sage. Okay, that's what it does. But now you could also get it, the essential oil of sage and in a spray. So yeah, if you Google sage, you could read a lot about it, but it is a sacred herb and it was very, very held very closely and dear to the Native Americans. But yeah, sage is a cleansing, clearing herb. Okay. All right, everybody, we're going to get started. Now, if there's anybody who's here for the very first time, if you could just let me know, I would appreciate it. I think all everybody's name looks familiar. I've seen it before, but just an event. If there is somebody here for the very first time, just go into the chat so we can welcome you and say thank you for coming and sharing your light. Okay, so we're going to get started now, and let's start with our blessing. Let's take a deep breath.